So you love the C7 Grand Sport, and when the C8 Grand Sport comes out, you're going to order one immediately, right?
No.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Turns out we're probably not going to see a mid-engine Grand Sport, and instead it'll be replaced by a hybrid called the E-Ray. Today I'll tell you everything known about the new trim and the future C8 lineup plans. Let's get into it. After GM filed a trademark for the name E-Ray back in December 2015, a ton of rumors started jumping around. Now we'll finally get to see what machine they'll give the name to. According to Muscle Cars and Trucks, Motor Trend, and GM Authority, it'll be powered by the same 6.2-liter LT2 from the base model paired with electric motors in the front. This will make it the first all-wheel drive and the first hybrid Corvette ever made. The motors are expected to add 100 to 150 horses to the 490 from the LT2, giving the car between 600 and 650 horsepower and over 500 pound-feet of torque.
Damn.
There are multiple spy shots out as well as a short video on the TFL Now YouTube channel of what's thought to be the new E-Ray. That box on the back is just for emissions testing, but the front right bumper has cables that run into the frunk. There's also an exterior kill switch along with a second one at the back. Probably the best thing about the new E-Ray is that it'll share the same wide-body design that's coming with the Z06.
Damn, what you doing out here with all this ass? Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, hella ass, the sun is still out.
There's been a ton of back and forth about if the Grand Sport was actually getting axed or not, but GM Authority recently said they can report it has hit the dustbin. Since the C7 Grand Sport had the Z06 body and suspension but the Stingray engine and was priced about $10K higher, it was a great middle ground choice. You got the better looks to stand out from the base model without spending more than $80 grand for the Z06. Although the E-Ray will probably cost closer to what a C8 Z06 costs, it'll be a good alternative to people who don't want the flat plane crank engine. Check out my video on the C8 Z06 after this for news on the specs, performance, and looks. I'll link it down below and at the end. The C7s also came with awesome color combos and the classic fender hash marks that go all the way back to the C2 Grand Sport. The E-Ray is an indirect replacement, but I'd still like to see those designs carry to the hybrid. With the insane lineup GM has planned, I assume they looked at the Grand Sport like,
Why do we need him?
the Z06 should debut in 2021 for the 22 model year, then the E-Ray will follow in 23, the twin-turbo ZR1 for 24, and finally the new Zora in 2025 with 1,000 horsepower or more.
More power, baby. More power, baby.
Without the Grand Sport, there'll be 5 trims, which is plenty, but one sad rumor is that there won't be a ZR1 either, so we'll be left with the Stingray, Z06, E-Ray, and Zora. I'd say this seems completely possible because we can clearly see Chevy trying to shake things up and keep them new and fresh, but there's nothing official. If anything does come up about that, you already know I'll be covering it, so make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on anything. What's really cool when you look at the future C8 plans is we're seeing a lot of firsts for the Corvette. The E-Ray will be the first hybrid and the first all-wheel drive, the Z06 will have the first flat plane crank engine, the ZR1 or Zora will be the first twin-turbo, and the Zora will be the first Corvette that's arguably a hypercar. I admit the C8 isn't my favorite Corvette, I'm much more of a C7 or C6 guy, but I'm really excited to see where everything goes. Of course, these aren't official announcements from Chevy, so we should keep in mind that they could always switch things up and bamboozle us.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh?
As long as they keep offering V8s and don't make the Corvette something stupid like, I don't know, an SUV, I'll probably be happy with what they do. What do you guys think about the idea of a hybrid Corvette? Do you think it's wrong or that it's time for it to finally happen? I think it'll be a little strange, but having a mid-engine Corvette at all was pretty weird, and if this is the alternative to having all full electric Corvettes, I'll definitely take it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, punch that like button and subscribe to Liberty Drives for more American car content and news. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week. Have a great day.